Okay, boys. So today is something pretty cool. Well, it's kind of a couple days ago, almost about a week ago now. Bethesda, game studio behind Fallout, Elder Scrolls, Starfield to a lesser extent. They also own ID Software and Obsidian, I'm pretty sure. Maybe not Obsidian. Maybe they just work with Obsidian. But yeah, that company, they just released a massive statement almost immediately within weeks of the massive Xbox layoffs and the effective guillotine that's hanging over their necks over the next year for the remainder of the layoffs that are be coming by the end of 2027. So let's just go through it. For note from Bethesda Game Studios, we love making these worlds as much as you love playing them. Today, we want to share what's next for Bethesda Game Studios and what you can expect for us in the years ahead. For 40 years, we built games that entertain almost 500 million players, more than just games. These are worlds for you to explore, shape, make your own, blah, blah, blah. Corporate stop, that's what we're driving to do. We're investing more deeply, so they're going to prioritize these specific games. Starfield, it got 17 million players. That's kind of shit. But at least they're telling us players and not sales. So that was on Game Pass. As we enter year 3, we'll continue 3 years since Starfield released. Holy shit. Targeted gameplay improvements, additional updates. We're preparing for the launch of new Starborn content next year. More than 40% of players already customized their creations, and we'll continue. So I'm glad people if you like Starfield, they're going to keep supporting Starfield. That's cool. Created by players. They're going to be doing their experience dating back to the more construction set. So they're going to be making sure that the content creation, specifically the mod, is going to be paid for mods still exist, and there's going to be easy ways to get mods out. That's a plus. That's a massive plus for the people that mod these games, and adds a major longevity to their titles. Future of Fallout. So Fallout is one of our biggest properties today. Fallout 5 remains our long-range destination. We have multiple Fallout projects in active development right now. Fallout 76 continues to be home to millions of players exploring Appalachia together. With nearly 70 free updates since release date, the journey is far from over. In fact, we have a major Fallout 76 expansion planned for next year. Raven Rock, our peak will start in Fallout 3, Fallout 4, the most award-winning game in the franchise, just its 10-year anniversary, and recent passed over 35 million copies sold. That's pretty good for Fallout 4, because I think it only took like $100 million to fucking make the game, so they made bank on that game. We also know how many players want to revisit previous Fallout experiences. While we're not announcing it today, we've been working on remasters for both Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas, boys. So it's just remasters, not remakes. One thing that I'm really hopeful for, specifically for Fallout New Vegas, is that if they are going to do a remaster, if for the love of God, flesh out Caesar's Legion. Just do what they did with Oblivion. Shadow drop that shit. Don't give us a date. Just say it's in development. Shadow drop that shit. Goodwill. Make sure it works. This is going to make Bethesda a fuck ton of money. We also know when we revisit the Fallout experience, blah, 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 Fallout Shelter, nobody cares. It's fucking more than 250 players, free game. We'd like to congratulate Kilter Films. Yep, Fallout Season 2, Season 3 is on the way. And we'll won't host Fallout Day broadcast this year. We're already planning something special for Fallout's 30th anniversary in 2027. When Fallout 2 will be celebrated live in Washington, D.C. I actually even care about this part. But that's cool, Fallout Day. They're not going to have a pseudo collaboration. The Wasteland continues. Obsidian is back making Fallout. And specifically, I believe they have Josh Sawyer coming back as the lead dev for Fallout New Vegas 2. I know about this, obviously, so Fallout New Vegas 2 is on its way, which is pretty fucking fire. If they have Josh Sawyer back and he's actually going to be making the game, that is going to be a huge title, because that dude, he's been pretty quiet. And if they brought him back, he's the one that basically made Fallout New Vegas storyline from the ground up. So it's going to be very interesting to see what his take is on a Fallout New Vegas 2. We'll also bring your teams together, blah, 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 ZeniMax, Game Studios, Elder Scrolls. So Elder Scrolls is coming back. Elder Scrolls Online, especially for the Elder Scrolls Online Season 1, Return of the Thieves Guild recently launched, and the team has more planned for the future. So Elder Scrolls Online has basically been like a World of Warcraft competitor for quite some time. Not as big as World of Warcraft, but a lot of people are playing it. They have some of the, if World of Warcraft has amazing cinematics, ESO has even better cinematics. Okay, like that one where they have that group of adventurers just beating the crap out of that knight, and that knight just kicks their teeth in. That is such a good cinematic. I love their cinematics, and they've always been kind of dark and dour compared to the new WoW ones. So I'm actually excited just to see more of their cinematics. I don't even care about the game, unfortunately, but it's cool that they're doing it. Elder Scrolls Beyond. This is the main Fallout 6 and Fallout 5 and Creation 3, so they're going to keep with Creation, which is kind of huge. We've been building since Starfield's launch. Starfield's engine kind of sucks. What just happened there? I think my cat just knocked my shit. They're going to stay on a creation engine. I'm not super excited about that, but you know, it is what it is. They're good at using creation engine. I hope they keep working on it. Fallout 5 is currently in pre-production. That's not good. It should be just production. But I understand they've been kind of sitting on their hands for fucking 10 years in regards to Fallout and Elder Scrolls. I will say Oblivion Remaster gave them a lot of goodwill. I think the Fallout TV series has given them a lot of goodwill. They need to be made. I'm surprised that Fallout 5's in pre-production and not just full out. Like maybe pre-production means something different than what I think it means. But if I'm hearing pre-production, it means it's not even in the concepts yet. It's barely getting out of concepts, or they've gotten part of the concepts done. It's their primary development focus today, with the majority of our team working on the next chapter of the franchise. So Elder Scrolls 6 is going to be their primary development section, which is amazing. Elder Scrolls, Starfield, and Fallout are coming back, and I'm really excited for this. There's some more stuff people talking about. We'll go over some of the stuff like that, but Bethesda has promised us a good future. If I had to guess, they're going to get the Fallout New Vegas and Fallout 3 remasters out in the next 2 years. Probably 3 next year in 2027, and New Vegas. Hold up, I gotta put my cat down. Okay, she's running. New Vegas is probably 2028. Fallout 3 is probably 2027. It's going to be next year, and of another Skyrim in between. But yeah, it's definitely, I think that's what they're going to do if they're smart. And then hopefully by 2029, 2030, we get either Fallout New Vegas 2, or we get Fallout 5 or ESO. What do you know? You need to go somewhere else. So let's go over. Todd Howard has shared one of the biggest updates. So this is going to be, there was a Reddit post from Todd Howard. I have to pull it up, but he's terrified of Asha Sharma. He's like, oh, well, for the last 10 years, we've sat on our hands and done nothing for Fallout. And we've done any of our studios. We've just been hemorrhaging money, not making anything, and quite literally re-releasing Skyrim every single year. And that made us millions of dollars. And they've just kind of been sitting on it. And this is now the chickens have come home to roost. They have to make a game. Officially, but still years away. I'm thinking that years away is probably 5 years, maybe less, maybe 4. 2030, I think, is when they're going to release Fallout 5. Not a good time. Elder Scrolls 6 and full development of Fallout 5 won't begin until after the game is finished. Okay. So they're not, maybe Fallout 5 is coming out in 2030s, early 2030s, officially working on a new Fallout project. That's Fallout New Vegas 2. Fallout 3 are getting remastered. I think these are going to be coming out in the next 3 years. Probably Fallout 3 first, and New Vegas next. Elder Scrolls 6 is not a big priority with most of the team. So they're probably contracting out like they did for Oblivion remaster, and these are going to drop in probably the next 2 years. I hope that's the case. I hope I'm right, and I hope it sells a lot, because I would love to play these games again, because they're fun games to play. Elder Scrolls 6 is now Bethesda's games. Okay, Starfield isn't going anywhere. They spent too much money to dump Starfield, and I'm glad they're doing it. I hope they fix the game. There's a lot of problems with the game that I played it for about 10 hours. I didn't like how many loading screens there were, even with like a high-end computer or an SSD, and the game stuttered. And to be brutally honest, if you fully played the game, there's not much to do. And it's just not a fun experience. Fallout franchise is a long-term future with multiple projects planned beyond Fallout 5. That's good. I'm glad they have multiple projects planned outside of Fallout 5. The TV show made them a lot of money. So like, I will have to be brutally honest. Bethesda has had they've been doing good in regards to expanding, not their portfolio, but just expanding the range of what they have. Like Fallout TV series was an amazing TV series. I didn't like season 2 as much as I like season 1, but it still made a lot of money. It's still a lot of people watched it, and I was one of them that watched it on release, even if I was kind of hate watching it towards the end, but I still enjoyed it. Elder Scrolls, people are still buying Skyrim. Like, people are still buying Skyrim, guys. Like, they're like, I just don't know what to say to that. People are still buying. People will buy it on Switch 3 when it comes out, okay? They're going to buy Skyrim. People are going to play it again. They're doing a playthrough. They'll drop $60, okay? Starfield, this is probably their biggest flop in the last 3 years, and I think Oblivion was a massive step in the right direction, and I'm confident that this studio has what it takes to survive. Now, the main problem I have right now is that Bethesda owns ZeniMax. How did my phone turn off? Bethesda is owned by ZeniMax. Excuse me, sorry about that. Bethesda is owned by ZeniMax, and they own ID Software. ID Software got completely shut down basically as a studio, massive layoffs, and a lot of their good talent got brain drained. And I think that's completely acceptable. I know a lot of people didn't like that, but when it comes down to it, Doom the Dark Ages didn't perform well. And if this studio is the same studio that is, they basically said in their release that ID Software is going to be in a situation similar to Doom 2016. And if that's what it takes to get another game similar to Doom 2016, that's what it takes. You know what I'm saying? And I think Asha Sharma is going in the right direction with all these layoffs, and she needs to basically threaten these people to get them to work because they've done nothing for 8 years, and the stuff they have done has not been good. So let's see. Bethesda's announcement, development along with multiple project, and now their union. So Bethesda's game union is criticizing the layoffs and the timing of the news. Of course, the union is mad because all of their people that they've been siphoning money from in union dues, the timing of this price is intentional. How are they going to make these games? And Bethesda particularly laid off hundreds, don't fall for it. And I'm going to tell you right now, Asha Sharma straight up said there was 15 layers of management in some cases. And I guarantee you, Bethesda being one of Xbox's larger studios, had 15 layers of management. And if they fired and laid off everybody in those management positions, that would be hundreds. I know a lot of the people left. A lot of those people took their exit packages and just went home and said, okay, maybe in a year or two they'll rehire me. Because I know a lot of these probably HR and middle management guys, they're not coming back, but they're coders, they're going to come back. So what's probably going to happen is in the next year or two, Microsoft or Xbox going to email those coders. They're going to give them a phone call. It's like, hey, you want to come back to play, we'll build Fallout? We've got it started. Your expertise is needed. And they're going to come back to the company. They're going to get a better deal. They're going to get paid more, and they're going to have more people to take care of. Right? That's what's going to happen, I'm pretty sure, because it happened every single time these companies fire people. They like probably 10% of them are rehired. So their union whining about this. There's hold on, I have this double opened. Their union whining about this is absolutely hilarious, in my opinion. It's ridiculous that these devs think it's acceptable for what they did for the last 5 to 6 years to allow them to keep their jobs. I find it completely appalling and completely outside of the realm of reality, especially with how much these people are getting paid, right? And I guarantee you, if you're working for Bethesda and you're working on Fallout, you're making 6 figures. Doesn't matter what position you're at, your starting pay is 6 figures. If you are a high middle management, you're probably making $200,000 to $300,000 a year, and you did that for 8 years. Of course, you're going to be mad that your golden goose stopped laying eggs, right? Because you want to do nothing. You want to sit there and play on your phone for 8 years and getting paid $300K. And I understand. And this union, their Bethesda game union, want to know why they're unionized? Not because they're trying to protect. Nobody cares about gaming unions, right? Not even the companies themselves don't care. You could be unionized, they'll just fire all of you, and then you're going to get a SAG-AFTRA strike where SAG-AFTRA lost, right? Their union effectively lost, and nobody cared because they just got swapped out with AI. What do you think is going to happen? They're gonna hire on new AI guys, and they're going to break this union. And do I hate unions? Not necessarily, but I think these types of unions that are whining about knowing, because you can't waste hundreds of millions of dollars and expect to keep your job. It's just the way it is. You're just not going to be able to do it. It sucks. I'd love to see if they're going to be going. Now I'll move on to here. We're finally getting Fallout New Vegas 2, so that's going to be the major news that I'm really happy for. But let's take a look at what we're looking at here for IGN. We want Fallout New Vegas 2, but not like this. Let's see what IGN has to say. Since before we started work on with Josh Sawyer. If you already said it earlier in the video, in the stream, Josh Sawyer is 100% the man to make Fallout New Vegas 2, because he's the guy that did the first one. One of the most popular mods for Fallout New Vegas 2 was the Josh Sawyer mod, and he made that mod himself. And that mod made it so that it was closer to his visioned experience, and it fleshed out the Caesar's Legion. I would love to see Fallout New Vegas Remaster and New Vegas 2 have much more evil factions that you can do. Because obviously the NCR has way more quest lines than Caesar's Legion, and I'd love to see more. That's because of how rushed New Vegas was. And that's why I would want to say for a remaster, it's closer to a remake. But the project comes amid devastating expo and the cancellation of Avowed 2. So that's the big issue with Obsidian, is that they're dumping everything to work on Fallout New Vegas 2, and they are officially back to Fallout because Asher Sharma said we need multiple teams working on Fallout titles right now. And this is amazing news for me as a fan of New Vegas. I don't care about Avowed 2. I played Avowed for about 30 minutes, didn't like it, uninstalled. Like, I'm just like, I'm not having any fun. Don't want to play it. There are some people that played it and they played for hundreds of hours and they didn't like it either. So Obsidian, you messed up. You got laid off. Now people that are surviving, they're going to be they're bringing back the old leadership to make another New Vegas game. And I'm happy for that. CEO Asher Sharma calls this Xbox reset. So again, they are resetting Xbox. It is probably the best thing for the studio, Xbox in general. And again, they've just failed to make anything for the last 8 to 10 years that was good, right? The last big titles, right, were Halo 5, Gears of War 4, Elder Scrolls, Fallout 5, right? The last Fallout 5, Fallout 4, the last major title that did well was Fallout 4 for Bethesda. And, fucking Elder Scroll, Skyrim re-release, and Oblivion. Just give us what we want, and we'll give you our money. And it is paramount that Bethesda keeps doing this. We don't want Starfield. Starfield, like, they scope creep Starfield too bad. Starfield should have been maybe 5 to 6 planets and not let you fly around and just had all the shit that was wasted space and just lock that into planets. And that's why I can see like a New Vegas 2, Fallout 5, and so forth being come back. But the studio is now mandating, right, more Fallout, more Elder Scrolls, more Halo, more Gears, more Forza, right? The main titles are the focus, and that is what I'm happy about. We need to make sure that Fallout, Elder Scrolls, Halo, Gears of War, what have you, are the focus of Xbox Studios. These titles have outsold everything on the market outside of Call of Duty, and they own COD too, right? They own Minecraft, they own COD, the two highest selling games of all time outside of Fortnite, right? Halo has outsold every single game PlayStation has made. Gears of War has outsold every single game PlayStation has made. Fallout series has outsold every single game PlayStation has made, right? Elder Scrolls has probably outsold every single game ever made outside like Fortnite and COD. Okay, these games are like some of the largest titles to have ever existed, and it is a shame that these companies have managed to fumble what they have. And if they can get these main titles working and they just become a platform for double A gaming, triple A gaming, and they become a platform for like they bring in like, what was it? Vampires Must Die. Not Vampires Must Die. What's it called? The little fucking game. Why can't I remember? Vampire Survivors. Oh my God. Vampire Survivors. They just platform those games and make money off their sales. Maybe invest a couple $1 million to make sure they get the game out and be like, oh, make sure it's on our platform, right? That's a lot cheaper, and let them bear the development costs. And it's one of those things where I really do think that these companies have a chance to survive, and I really do hope that they are able to make this work, right? If they can do this, Xbox is going to win the console generation, right? If they can make sure that the release of the new Xbox comes with all these titles launching within a year or two, and it doesn't go to PlayStation and it only goes to PC, Xbox is winning the console generation just through the game sales alone. Their push for moving physical to digital and keeping your licenses is a much better stance than Sony's just fuck you, right? Xbox is poised to be in a very good spot after this reset, especially because PlayStation's hasn't happened yet and it's coming. I give it another year before PlayStation has similar layoffs. Everyone knows it's happening. It's about, like, the branch is going to break, the dam's going to, the dam's going to break, and so forth. This type of shit that's going to happen, we're going to see more of it. And I'm really stoked for it. And I know a lot of people are going to be like, "Oh no, that's not true. You can do all this other crap," but it's a high possibility that we're going to get this to work. But let's move on to the next set of news.